Hey busy gamers, and welcome to Enhance Ephemeral Gaming, where I'm going to try to bring you the best games to fit your busy schedule. I'm Adam, and today we're going to be diving into our very first look. So if you've already watched one of these before, feel free to skip right ahead to the first gameplay. And if you're looking for the full review, including the scores, I'm going to be putting a link in the show notes below. Does a game grab you early on? Does it make you want more from the very first few minutes that you start playing? That is such an important question, and since our philosophy is to help you get the most out of your gaming time, it's going to play a big role in my early scoring. For this series, I'm going to want to bring you along the process with me. I'm going to be putting a timer up in the top right hand corner of the screen, and then I'm going to play for just 30 minutes. As I play, I'll give you my live thoughts and reactions before then giving you a short summary at the end of the video, discussing the good, the bad, and how excited, or well, not, I am about playing through so that I can build out the rest of the review, which of course I'm going to do. We'll have a full review with plenty of playtime dedicated to it. Alright, so for today's first look, we are going to be looking at Inscryption, a dark looking card and deck builder that focuses on the story with elements of roguelike, escape room, and augmented reality games. Is that too much in one place, or is it just a fun balance? I cannot wait to see, and I'm going into this one confident, as I have been a big card gamer for a long time. I've played in high-level competitive events for CCGs, TCGs, LCG type games in the past, and so I'm hoping I can make a good showing for you here, get a fair amount of the way through this game. So let's start that timer and see. Alright, and the timer is a go. So we start. Another challenger. It has been ages. Perhaps you have forgotten how this game is played. Now, I will mention, I did cut this part, but as you're starting the game, it doesn't let you start a new game. It makes you continue. Based on the comments that he's just made here, I kind of assume that's theme and that we're going to be another player. But perhaps you've forgotten how this game is played. Allow me to remind you. Okay, so first off, right off the bat, I see we've got 2 rows. I assume these are for him to play in and for me to play in, or each. Let's play that squirrel. Following orders. Now play your stoat. Okay. Oh, the squirrel shakes. And we've got a nice little dagger here. So sacrifices must be made. Wow. All right. We're getting right in there. Sacrifice a poor little squirrel, but nobody seems upset. I got the stoat. Wolves require 2 sacrifices. Okay, that makes sense. So there's this little blood symbol for sacrifices, and then we've got their power on the cards. So let's go ahead and hit this. Your stoat stands unopposed. Number on the bottom left is attack power. Okay. Hit him for a damage. First of all, I kind of like the mechanic for the scale here. It looks like if we push somebody 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 over the middle, that will win. And we've got a range of 5 and 5, so there's only 10 points across the board. You win if you tip my side all the way down. What a creepy hand you have. And, well, lovely swirling eyes. I don't think your eyes are supposed to do that. Okay, it's going to take a turn. Coyote. Stoat stands in the way of my coyote. It's gonna get hit. Coyote dealt 2 damage, so down to 1 health. Creature's health reaches 0, it dies. Makes sense. It is my turn again. Okay, draw from your deck or a squirrel. I think I would just draw a squirrel here. We'll play the squirrel out there. I don't see any reason to sacrifice both. My stoat kills that guy. Yes, I know I can play more than 1 turn, because you're learning I will pass. Let's just draw a squirrel again. Let's put 2 squirrels out there. Since I have a deck of squirrels and a deck of what I assume are good cards, I'd rather not burn through my good cards just to summon other things. Okay, yep, we overbalanced it by 5, so we won the match. 1 match down. Let me recall your story. Oh, yes. Okay, I like this map. Simple, but thematic. You were lost deep in the forest. A single path revealed itself. Okay, so we can slide forwards to see this is our deck. Stoat, 2 wolves, and a river snapper. So everything costs blood or sacrifices. Can't see what's above me on the path, so let's just go here. The denizens of the forest approached you tentatively. Undying cat, sacrificing the poor beast does not kill it. Seems good. Caustic adder, damage from its poison bite is always lethal. Okay, so I haven't really seen any tanky cards yet, and this has 2 cost. I'm pretty much automatically going to take the cat here because it's cheaper. I know it doesn't have any attack, but cheaper is a lot of times going to be better. Some of the creatures of the forest seemed willing to follow you. Seems good. Okay, we're going to go up to this backpack here. Come across an abandoned sack. Found a squirrel in a bottle. Interesting. Cool for a card game. Terrible in real life if you just saw a squirrel shoved in a bottle there. 2 squirrels and some pliers. I'll allow you to tip the scales with it. Okay, so we can just, like, I don't know, break the scales or something. That seems reasonable. 3 is as many things as I can carry. Okay, let's step forward. Assume the skull is just another battle. You were ambushed while crossing through some rough terrain. Okay, so we've got some thematic cards out here, just automatic blockers. Hold up. You didn't sacrifice me. Maybe you'll help me. Okay, so the Stoat talks. That's interesting. And we've revealed a new mechanic, which is this row back here, which just shows what the opponent's gonna play. Got a wolf cub. We can look at the rulebook. It's a fledgling. A card bearing this sigil will grow into a more powerful form after 1 turn on the board. So it's probably going to turn into a full-fledged wolf. That is definitely something to keep in mind. We'll be boring as usual. Go ahead and summon the squirrel. We will then summon the cat, but we'll summon it behind the stump because it doesn't attack. And then we will use the cat to summon the Stoat. Now, I don't know if that's a great play, because he now has to get through the stump, but I feel okay about it. Ambitious wolf cub ages swiftly. Okay. We have another squirrel now. I should not have drawn a squirrel there. That is probably my bad. Go ahead and summon that squirrel though, and then we'll get the river snapper out there for a cat and a squirrel. The reason I said it was bad is just because the river snapper doesn't have a whole lot of attack. It's tanky. Airborne bat flies over creatures to attack directly. Okay, so he's tanky and he's in front of something that won't attack him anyway. My bat flew right over your river snapper. Yep, makes sense. So these have to be wolves because I only have 4 cards in the deck, so we'll draw a wolf. And honestly, I would rather have the wolf on the deck, so we're gonna sacrifice the river snapper. Whoa, okay. Its suffering was real, but you will see it again. It's a bummer to be a bummer there. Now I do like this. You can kind of see that the bat card is flying. It's flapping its wings. I think that's a nice little thematic touch. Overall, the game is conveying a pretty fun and kind of creepy element. And while I'm not usually much for what I would just call it creepy as a general rule, I do happen to like it in this particular scenario, both because for me it's kind of close to Halloween, and so I kind of find that theme to be nice. Also because, you know, sometimes you're just feeling that type of game. We'll just draw a squirrel. Play a squirrel. I don't have any other big guys to play, so we're just gonna win here. Another thing I've noted, I am fairly certain you prevailed and tracked onwards past the now bloodied terrain. I am fairly certain that when I'm hitting my opponent, that those things falling onto the scales are teeth. Golden teeth. Now I won't tell you that's true, but that is what it looks like to me. We got a choice here between a flying creature and a wolf cub. I like the fact that it turns into a wolf, so let's just take the cheap wolf. And we'll go to this symbol. You stumbled into some strange stones in the mist. Okay. You know, we're staying dark here. We've got what I have to assume is a sacrificial altar. So let's see what we can do. You are compelled to choose a worthy sacrifice, so yep, one that will be lost forever. So this is a deck thinning mechanic. In deck builders, deck thinning is almost always a good thing. So let's see what we can do. Really like the cat, but it doesn't attack. So maybe we should just go ahead and sacrifice the cat. You looked upon your menagerie and selected a healthy host. Again, we want it to be something that's easy to get out, so let's go ahead and select the stoat. What an honor! Okay. The ghastly spectacle, but the soul of the cat now lives in this stoat, which just looks like it means it gives the... oh, I don't know what we're calling them here, but basically the special effects to the other card. It seems nice. Deck thinning and improvement. And it appears that the antler symbol is going to be a mini-boss fight, or at least a challenge fight. Behold my totem, it describes my canine cards with the airborne sigil. Okay, so anything that's considered a canine will fly. I haven't really seen where the cards are marked yet. Okay, so the stoat is implying that he cheats, and that he keeps him around to watch him suffer. It's interesting, he hasn't really said a whole lot to us other than being, oh, kind of a creepy DM, let's say. He's acting like a dungeon master, but a dungeon master that definitely wants them to lose. I like that the stoat talks. I'm sure that comes into play later, but I do like that it talks. Yeah, I still don't really feel a need to use my squirrel. Let's just go. Coyote, the power of flight. So I'm a little risky there, but I haven't lost. Let's get us a squirrel. We can now get rid of the squirrel and the stoat. And we got a wolf. And now I have pseudo-overwhelming advantage here. I'm going to deal 4 damage. And I can put my River Snapper on the board. Or I could wait and summon a wolf next turn, which I think is actually what we're going to do. 4 damage away from winning. Okay, so I need to look at that. Canine cards are indeed marked with this little shadow symbol, which I did not notice that earlier. Partially probably because I'm kind of doing this as a first look, so we're just moving through. Now I should not have picked up a squirrel there. But it won't matter. I think we will still win here. We will not. So now we can pick up this card, which should be a wolf. Sacrifice the stoat and the squirrel. And now we'll win here. This will be an easy battle. Okay, so he holds out like a little bowl if you do additional damage. I don't know if that is going to be a positive. Well, I mean, I'm sure it's going to be a positive. I just don't know how positive. Coming up on 2 symbols here. One that we haven't done before, which looks like a little fire, and then one we have. A raven, a bullfrog, and a sparrow. So we don't have any of these yet. What does that do? Mighty Leap. Okay, so it can block a flying card. Something great out here. It's interesting. Honestly, we'd probably just take the sparrow because it's cheap and it flies. I'd like to sacrifice it to make something else fly, but for the purpose of this video, maybe we should go to the fire here. We don't know what it is yet. Hey, maybe it's better anyway. You came across a small group of survivors. Faces shrunken from starvation, they huddled around a campfire. They looked upon a group of creatures and beckoned. Come warm one of your creatures by the fire. Warm it by the fire and that'll enhance its power. Wiping drool from their mouth. Okay, so you know, these guys are clearly gonna try to eat my creature. I don't know. Let's put a stoat down. Fire warm the stoat, enhancing its power. One of the survivors reached towards it. Okay, so they can eat my card right now. Another gnash their teeth. Without a word, you pulled the stoat away from the fire and left. I wonder if those are going to be a push your luck mechanism. So, like, if you visit them, you get a permanent bonus to one of your cards, but there's a chance of it just getting eaten. That seems like what we're at. There's a way out for both of us, somewhere in the foul cabin. Oh, and he can hear the card. He responded to the card. Okay. I don't think I realized he heard it earlier. I just kind of assumed that my character and my creature, whatever happened to be, was seeing things. Squirrel. Let's put the stoat down. That card is huge. So he's gonna summon a grizzly. 4 strength, 6 defense. I mean, honestly, I think we just put a squirrel in the way so that it doesn't smash us super hard. So those of you who don't play a lot of deck builders, I'm gonna call what I just did a chump block there. That really the only purpose is to get that block out there. Doesn't do anything else other than absorbs 4 damage for what is effectively a nothing card that it appears I have somewhat infinite of. Question is, do I try to go ahead and summon a wolf to start killing it? It looks like this is a fight that it's somewhat trying to force me to lose, so that is not a great sign. Yeah, there's nothing else to do. Do you think it's I don't think there was any way to win this with the Grizzlies. But if somebody that is watching saw a way around it, I'd be more than happy to hear it. Yeah, we're grizzly after grizzly here. To have lost. Yes, I have. Use this as a learning opportunity. Maybe the only way to mitigate my disappointment. You, sir. I don't know that I care about your disappointment. Okay, it's making me get up from the table. Fetch me something. Fetch me a candlestick. Okay. Okay, clearly not that. There's like a wand and a hammer. Got a cool clock here I can play with for a bit. I don't really see anything, but oh, hey. A ring. Okay, that doesn't seem terribly useful. I probably wasn't supposed to play with that yet, so we're gonna pretend that that didn't happen. A blank picture, pretty useless. Got a safe that's clearly a 3-digit code. We've got some interesting little guys there. A squirrel, a dagger. There's a candlestick. Wolf. Put a candle out. Doesn't seem to have done anything, but I did put a candle out. All the smoke went up into that. So, I mean, I guess that's something. Creepy hand wants his candle. We'll go ahead and just acquiesce to what he's asking for. He's gonna snuff out one of my candles. One of the 2 mistakes you can make here. If you make another, I have to sacrifice you. Okay. That feels threatening, though. I guess he sounds regretful. We're gonna go with he sounds regretful. So, Mysterious Grizzly. There we go. Yep, it did just kick my butt. So, getting 3 blood seems difficult, but the thing is, I could get this cat. I I'm gonna take another cat. I'm torn on the cat because it doesn't do a whole lot, but at the same time, that grizzly, I just feel like I don't have the sacrifices to deal with it. Got another one of these, except for this time it's gonna enhance its health. And they are definitely licking their lips again, so let's see. You know what? I'm just gonna double down, and I think we're just gonna continue to throw that stoat on there. Especially because he's kind of my guy who I can sacrifice. One of the survivors began pulling a knife from their pocket. You withdrew. Okay, so we got away with it both times. Maybe I'm wrong, and that is not a push or luck mechanism, and that it's more something just intended. Okay, I think we're at a boss fight. This changed its music heavily, color changed. The trees seem to close around you as a chill mist descended. It's got a skull with 2 candles, so I assume this boss has 2 lives. Okay, let's see what's going on. In the distance, you could hear the clinking of metal on stone. Did you hear that? A hobbled figure stood in your path. Hee-haw! 'Twas the prospector. I think I might have gone a little too method actor in that. Also, let's say real quick, this guy must be really ugly because that is the mask he chose, and it's well, it's just beautiful. We'll go with that. All right, I've got a boulder. He has a coyote and a pack mule. Sprinter. At the end of the owner's turn, card bearing it moves in the direction described. Okay, so it'll move to the right. I assume it won't move if the coyote's there. So let's see what we can do. Let's put the squirrel down. And then let's put the sparrow down over here. I don't really want to deal with that coyote until it's out. I don't want it to kill my card. Let's draw another squirrel. Play the squirrel. You know what? We're just gonna eat the squirrel. It turned out much worse than I was thinking. Draw again. He's doing the prospector again. Easy pause. The mule's key. Okay, so we need to kill the mule. Let's use our squirrel bottle. Let's play a squirrel. Let's play the stoat. Let's play the cat, which can't do anything, but we can get him out there for free, and then we can get this wolf out there for free. That seems good. I feel good about that. So free wolf cub. And feel good about this. Yeah, we killed the mule, which had cards under it. None of them were phenomenal. Dagnabbit, my mule. Did I neglect to mention overkill damage? You did. Excess damage is not wasted. Carries over to the card behind the corpse of the victim. Okay, so if I do 3 damage to this wolf, 2 damage will be dealt behind it if there's a card there. That tracks, that makes sense. Lucky for me. But I haven't won yet, so that's good, bad otherwise. I do have cards everywhere, so there's nothing for me to do. I'll win on this turn. Well, not win necessarily, but take a life away. I will note that we're about 22 minutes in yet. They haven't beaten me. Though he said I hope he didn't think it would be that easy. And there's gold in them there cards. Okay. Oh. Okay, stop. Okay, stop. Okay. So he kills all your things. I feel like I had a nice little board set up there. Feel a little sad about that. especially because there's effectively nothing for me to play here. Get a squirrel back and see what we got. Let's get a squirrel. Now, the adder is gonna, I was gonna say it's gonna come into place here, but there's very little to do. A squirrel can block, but until there's something else, I don't feel like there's a lot of point. Because I can't summon anything else till there's 2 slots. Now I can, so let's get rid of the adder very quickly. Let's do squirrel, squirrel, wolf, probably. Squirrel, squirrel, wolf, to get some damage out. And we'll kill the adder. Okay, I feel alright about that. We'll draw a squirrel again, because that's all we have now. Squirrel out. And then we'll get a flying creature out just to do more damage. Oh, and because we're down to about 6 minutes left, we could manipulate our scales here. I don't feel like we're gonna lose yet. But I am tempted to just show that. Yeah, so we're still gonna win. Getting them both. Okay. Okay, and so he's being honest about it now. I won't be killing you quite yet. So he's definitely gonna kill me. The first in a while to overcome a boss. As a reward, you're granted an opportunity to select a rare card. Choose carefully. Okay. Let's see how much better these are. Uninspiring Gek. Perhaps you can find a use for it. Okay, it's a 1/1, but it's free, so I feel good about that. Ureuli. Costs 4 blood. Not interested. I get that it has 7/7, but still not interested. A largely unimpressive specimen. 0/3. I have to assume that this turns into something cool since it's a rare. I'm gonna be lazy though. I'm just take the free card. Free is good. Sound of Prospector's Pickaxe still ringing in your ears. You carried onwards. Shall we go onwards? Shall we get up from the table and look around? Rank spell of Rot and Mold permeated the humid air. Every step forward was answered by some nearby slip or slither. Tread cautiously into the wetlands. Okay. Made it to phase 2 already. I feel good about this. Nothing seems to have changed in the room. Still don't see anything. You know what? I'm just going to keep playing. Try to carry on through at least another fight for you. Skunk, a river otter, and a bullfrog. 2 new symbols here. Stinky. Creature opposing a card loses a power. I like that. Waterborne. Card submerges itself during its opponent's turn. Okay, so it's not going to block at all, but it also can't be hit. Just take the skunk. If for no other reason I like the idea of playing a skunk. Push for luck or sacrifice. Let's sacrifice. I'm very into deck thinning mechanics, and that seems good here. So who do I want to give more powers? Let's give Gek some power. He's free. Make him stinky. Make a skunk. I like that it makes their eyes glow. Because they're possessed, I'm guessing. I'm a fan of that. Okay, so we only have 1 item left. Let's get a squirrel. Beehive. Bees within. What's a card bearing it? Okay, I'm gonna make a bee. Okay, squirrel. And there's just nothing to block. So we'll go ahead and get a stoat. Wow, he's also gonna tell me I play poorly. He's been helpful before, so maybe that was indeed a bad play. I don't see how I could have blocked those. They're diving cards. There's literally no way for me to interact. In my mind, I can get a wolf out on this turn, and that seems good. Doing 5 damage to their 2 damage, which means we win. Another card here. This is a little bit of a different symbol for card. I must make a different kind of choice. Choose not a beast, but decide the cost. Okay. 3 blood, 2 blood, or 1 blood. We're gonna. What the heck? A random card with a cost of 1. What were you expecting? Okay, it's got a name, a weird picture. This is a person. Sharp quills. Okay, so if it gets attacked, it does damage. Bifurcated strike. Card bearing the sigil strikes each opponent's base. Wow, that's a very powerful card and cheap. It's weird that it's a person. It's powerful and cheap. Alright, gonna backpack again. It's bleeding eats 3 blood if you can ignore the bleeding. Oh, okay, that's amazing. Powerful item. Turn this, I'll skip my next turn. Wow, I didn't get anything that's hard to summon, but that now makes sense that I can effectively afford some other things with the black goat out there. I don't like that so this looks bloody, the tip of the pliers there. We're definitely gonna use it before our time's up. Let's just pick the black goat. Let's move into the next fight. So because I want to showcase it, and because it's bloody, and because now I think I know what's gonna happen, we're gonna play this fight, and I am virtually immediately going to choose to use the pliers. So let's see what happens. Oh, yep. Yeah, okay. A well-earned point of damage. I didn't think you'd really do it. You know what? In real life, I would not do it. No card game is worth that, but I appreciate the moxie. So we are at 30 minutes and 20 seconds now. We're going to go ahead and call that here for our first look. And I'm going to go ahead and give it a pause, and then I'm going to stop and give us some first thoughts and first impressions here. Alright, now that I've kind of resituated here and I've got the timer paused, what was good about the first 30 minutes? Well, I personally like the theme, not necessarily because I'm a huge horror fan, because honestly I'm not. I like it in audio format, but not necessarily in visual format. But because this game managed to be creepy and mysterious without being outright quote-unquote scary, right? There was nothing overly gory about it. I felt like they struck the perfect balance between it being creepy and suspenseful and not having like jump scares or things that are overly graphic and violent. So that's good for me. Wouldn't necessarily play it in front of the kiddo still, but still. It means if I keep enjoying this, it's probably one I'd play year-round, not just because currently it's kind of spooky season for me. It's Halloween, so I can also see the mystery here. It's going to be a slow burn, most likely, with just one card kind of talking and seeming to be somewhat sentient, but I am intrigued by that prospect. I thought the stoat was interesting, and he kept talking about a way to escape the cabin, and so that very much is alluding to the next steps. Also, the game was pretty simple and easy to understand. I had really clear symbols. I didn't feel like there was ever a point during the first 30 minutes that I necessarily paused and had to do much more than a really cursory review of like the text on the cards. I wasn't immediately saying, oh, I have no idea what that symbol would possibly mean, and then having to read a wall of text. There's not cards with 15 symbols on them. The symbols are pretty basic, and the mechanics are pretty easy to do. Now, what was bad? In the same way that simple mechanics can kind of help people ease into the game, I did find that I had no issues making it up to the first boss, which it concerns me a little bit that the difficulty might be a little too low, especially because I didn't see any difficulty slider or difficulty adjustments in the game itself. Now, we'll see how that goes over a longer playthrough. I assume that that's still pretty early on, and there's a lot more things to introduce. So far, the escape room elements also haven't really come into play, so it kind of seems sparse. You know, I wandered around the cabin, I played with a candle, I saw an empty picture. I'm sure all of these things are going to come into play. In fact, I even ended up triggering something by playing around with the clock that I honestly probably should not have. So interesting, but could be sparse, depending on if there's other rooms or other facets to the escape part itself. And then the one loss I did take, honestly, was a bit frustrating in the moment because it felt like a mechanic of the game that I was going to lose there based on the things that were played and the cards that I could have in my deck at that time. So either it's something where the roguelike elements are going to come into play and I'll be able to win fights like that into the future, or it truly had no way to play around it in that moment. And that kind of is a feels bad moment. Now, looking forward, all the above being said, like I'm really looking forward to playing more of this game and getting into the mystery and the story side a bit more. I think it has solid mechanics, interesting art, and a great theme. So I'll get to work, and I will see you back again for the review.